Redline Logbook here for Wistoria chapter 45B. Yeah, 45B, not 46. Which is weird because it took a month for this chapter to come out, and it's not even like a little side thing. It literally is the continuation of the story, so this should be chapter 46, but it's not. It's 45B. I have no idea why they went that way, but whatever. Point is, we start off where we left off with that giant darkness slash by Will. Will then immediately just passes out, completely unconscious. So he had one attack in him, and then he just goes unconscious. As for, I believe I was calling her Bal. Or Ball. Yeah, I was calling her Ball. Ball is now freaking the fuck out because, one, there was a powerful witch inside of Will that overpowered her, and two, Will almost killed her with a single strike. Based on the way the panel is drawn, either Will purposely missed her, or she basically dodged to the side and barely avoided the attack. Either way, she's scared and she can't move at the moment. In fact, she also lost control of her magic a little bit, which then loosened the chains on Lyanna, who, out of sheer desperation and wanting desire to save Will, rips the chains apart and then goes straight for Bal. And she actually cuts her down the chest. Nice good gash. Unfortunately, it's not enough to kill or even knock her out. This gives Bal a chance to then create a darkness smoke screen and then escape. Bal is just staggering away slowly, trying to pin herself up against a wall, crying as she's saying she's going to get her revenge against those two. Seriously, she is an emotional wreck. I can only imagine just how much fear she's in right now. Because you gotta think about it. She didn't just face death once, she did it twice in just seconds from each other. The first time was inside of Will's body when the witch, first off, skewered her with a fuck ton of swords, and then blasted her with a giant thing of darkness magic. And then after that, that's when Will did his sword slash. So that means Val has seen death twice, and is in a matter of seconds, and has only survived the skin of her teeth. The level of fear she must be in right now is palpable, which she deserves, because she's a psycho bitch who, first off, enslaves people, and second, has been murdering people, including Julius. So her suffering emotionally is actually, in my opinion, a good thing. Not just physical pain, but emotional and psychological trauma. Finn really enjoyed himself. His only regret is that Will didn't actually last a little bit longer. He says that Will isn't close to his origin just yet, which heavily implies that he expects Will to be as strong as the Witch Queen. And since she is inside of Will, that heavily implies that Will one day gain all of her power. So yeah, I can definitely see Will being as strong as the Witch Queen, but as powerful as she was, there's no way Will can handle that level of magic just yet. Because once again, that was devastating. She obliterated Bal like she was nothing, so the Witch Queen level of magic power is beyond anything we've seen so far. Even above the magic wand, I think. As for that masked guy that Finn was threatening before, he just lets him go. I guess he doesn't care about him. Later on that day, they're currently in the infirmary. They're both all patched up, and Lyanna's asking Will if he remembers what he did. That whole thing about Will using magic, he doesn't remember any of it. Yeah, as soon as she went into his mind, he completely lost memory. But he does remember what happened inside of his body. So the Witch Queen attacking Bal, he has a vague memory of that. But he doesn't seem to realize that that happened inside of him. He seems to think that it was a memory of some kind. Which is unfortunate, because that was no memory, that was inside of his body. So he's not going to learn that there's someone living inside of him for a while now. Which is a shame, because Will learning under the Witch Queen probably would have been a great idea. I guarantee Cauldron, just like how she could cast the spell to put you into your memory, she could definitely put you into yourself somehow. But that's just not happening, at least not anytime soon. That's when Kirui reveals herself. Apparently she's been the one doing the treatment on Emma, which I had no idea that Kirui was a medical witch. From what we saw, she summons guardians and she also is heavy on support, so that means she's very well-rounded. Support, attack, and defense. And now healing. That's a lot for one witch to have. She really is someone that Cauldron picked out personally to be an apprentice. Cauldron really knows what she's doing, that's for sure. Then again, she's been around for like 500 years. As for Emma, she's alive, and she is going to make it. The problem is, her physical injuries aren't the problem. Those were easily healed. The problem is the fact that she's allergic to flowers, and this illness of hers is really beginning to affect her, to the point where the only people who can save her are the elves. And this is the craziest illness I've ever seen. She isn't just allergic to flowers, her body actually starts producing them, and it looks like they're like eating her alive, like they're using her for nutrients. It's crazy. This seems more like a curse than being allergic to something. As for the other mages that were being controlled, they were also set free and they're currently going through treatment. At the moment they're paralyzed because of what they went through, but they should be able to move in a few days. Unfortunately, that was a small number of the mages that Bal had control over. Who knows just how large her army actually is. Lyanna then asked about the Brezi clan. Apparently they were the clan that puppetry magic, and apparently they used this magic to try to take over the kingdom at a certain point. They failed and they were all executed, but apparently there's one single survivor. And that's really all she knows about them. In fact, it was actually news to her that the use of puppets, the flower, were actually what allowed this clan to actually control people. Which is one of those disturbing things I ever heard in my life, because that implies that instead of questioning them or capturing them alive, they basically just straight up just slaughtered this entire clan to avoid their puppetry magic as much as possible. Because if they just took a couple alive, they could have learned the secrets of puppetry magic. But no, they don't know nothing. So they straight up just slaughtered this entire clan. That's an insane level of brutality. But at least now they know anytime they smell those flowers, there's either the puppeteer or someone being puppeted. Kirui then decides to scold the two of them because they were ordered to spy, not to go into combat. But at the same time, she's also happy that they're alive. That is when the leader of the Wind faction pops in, Arvin, and his assistant, Monica. And of course he's there to see Emma because she's a member of the Wind faction and he's actually freaking out about her being hurt. He wants an explanation of what happened, and Will and Lyanna's about to explain, but that's when Kirui uses telepathy to communicate with them in secret. Once again, support magic as well. Like, it's insane just how powerful she is. Point is, she's using this telepathy to warn both Will and Lyanna that we actually don't know who the puppets could be, and so the best bet is to keep your mouth shut and keep all secrets to yourself when around other people, because the puppeteer could actually use her puppets to look and hear through other people. So it's best just to keep your mouth shut in this kind of situation. That's when Kirui decides to handle the situation. She takes Anron and his assistant over to Lyanna to explain the situation, and she then uses her telepathy to tell Will and Lyanna, the people that you can trust right now are Zero and Guilford. You stay with them and no one's going to attack you. You'll be safe. Which means she heavily trusts that neither of them are the traitor, which I don't think Zero's the traitor. The guy likes fighting way too much to care about betraying everyone. As for Guilford, he seems super loyal to Zero, so I guess it's okay? I don't know. While they're by themselves, Will and Lyanna both come to the same realization. Once it's discovered that there are puppets throughout the tower, this will lead to the end of the tower. People won't be able to trust each other, factions will break apart, everything will crumble, and if the tower goes down, the whole world goes down with it. Because in the end, the Magi are the ones holding up the sky. This tower is the center of the world, and also the hope for the entire world. Once they realize this, they actually kind of get scared, and Lyanna points out that they can't trust anyone, not even the people within their own Thunder faction. They might actually be doomed. But then Will points out, no, we have our friends. We can trust them. This is great and all, but there's one little issue. The image of Julius also shows up. Are we forgetting that Julius is dead? Or is this chapter implying that Julius isn't dead? But they wouldn't know that because his corpse was taken away by the Ice faction, so I really don't know what's happening right now. Is Julius dead or not? Including him really just confuses me right now. Like, if they didn't include him and they left the other three in the background, then yeah, this would make perfect sense, but now I'm confused. Is Julius dead or not? That's when Guilford just appears out of fucking nowhere. Apparently he was given the message that the two of them were in the infirmary, and he takes this as them slacking off. Yes, that's right. Two injured people not doing their daily exercises are slacking off. That's how that works. Yeah, he doesn't care that they're hurt. He doesn't care they're bandaged up. He isn't just going to make them do their daily drills. He's also going to give them extra as punishment. That's right. If you get hurt in the Thunder Legion, that's your fault, and you get punished for it. And then the last couple of pages is in the tower. In fact, it's with Elfie and the king, where she is then asking if his wish is to destroy the tower. Obviously, this is not going to imply that the king is the traitor. That's just a red herring. She's probably referring to something else altogether. Whatever Elfie's actually referring to is something that I couldn't even guess on, because I have a feeling it has nothing to do with what's happening currently in the story. It's probably a completely different side plot. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Wistoria and other my thing. Thank you and have a great day.